Hey everyone, it's Force Death back here again to talk about another game that I 100%, that being Fear the Spotlight. I wanted to 100% a horror game for October because of the Halloween season, and myself that loves a lot of horror games, I can't really recall one that I did 100%. How I came across this game was that it was introduced to me through a Nitro Rad video where I only watched a little bit of it and saw how it looked like an old PlayStation 1 Silent Hill type horror game. I mean, the art style, the gameplay, it all was screaming Silent Hill. So I decided to abstain from watching his whole video on it and decided to make the purchase on Steam and download it in my Steam library around the last year around this time. What's interesting about this game is that this is funded by Blumhouse. Blumhouse is the studio that has a lot of IPs to their name, horror IPs such as Megan, The Black Phone, and even the Five Nights at Freddy's films. But Blumhouse also turned to the gaming market a couple years ago and funded a couple games, one of them being Fear the Spotlight. I'd say it goes pretty well with it, like their whole theme, how they do it for movies. It's a good game to fund. This game was developed by, I think it was a duo, and their company is called Cozy Game Pals as well. The premise for this game is you play as a girl named Vivian. You're with your friend Amy. You go into school after hours at night, and you're doing this because you're taking a Ouija board that's in the school library so you can try to contact spirits. It's typical, hey, we have a Ouija board, it's in this location, let's break into school at night, take the Ouija board out, and see if we can contact some ghosts. Right off the bat, as I'm playing this game, it really does have that Silent Hill art style. It has the Silent Hill movement. Now, while it's over the shoulder, kind of similar how like Silent Hill 2 Remake is and not fixed camera like the older Silent Hills, I'm not really bothered by this at all. I think the gameplay flows really nicely, although sometimes when I boot up the game, I don't know if it's something with my VSync or something with the game itself, because I've never had this happen with any other game, but I'll actually end up moving faster than I should, and because of that, the dialogue will cut off earlier than it's supposed to, and I'm walking way faster than I should while playing the game, but it only happened a few times. As I'm saying, you get the Ouija board, you meet up with your friend Amy, you both go in the library, and you try to summon spirits, and you can expect what happens does happen. The summoning goes wrong, the spirit is actually hostile, not friendly, and Amy ends up going missing once the spirit's contacted. And chapter 1 is basically playing as Vivian, trying to figure out where Amy went and rescuing her. This causes you to go throughout the school, but also in a different time period. There's many elements that come back from the past, and as you play the game more and more, you realize why you're seeing these things, and if you read the notes that you find around when you're playing the game, you get into context of the story that's happening here. Without spoiling too much from it, it's basically something occurred in the 90s with this same school involving other students at the time, and it was very tragic, caused the school to be in a lot of trouble that they tried to sweep under the rug, and it gives more context as to why the game is called Fear the Spotlight, as this tragedy occurred during the school's play of Phantom of the Opera. Speaking of the Spotlight, he's actually going to be the first enemy that you encounter. I don't actually know if he has a proper name, so I just call him the Spotlight, or he could be called Spotlight Head, but I just call him the Spotlight. He's the only really big threat that you have to worry about in Chapter 1. It gives off that Alien Isolation type gameplay where he's constantly seeking you whenever he appears and you have to hide and get out of his spotlight. If he sees you, he pulls you towards him and you take damage. You can heal yourself though if you find inhalers around the school. This is what Vivian can use to recover hit points. If you get hit 3 times, that life is over and you load from the last save. As you walk through the school trying to find Amy, you also have a lot of puzzles. I think that these were all pretty doable. None of them really stumped me like how the older Silent Hills or Resident Evils were at some times. I wish the puzzles in this game, at least there was a couple more that were more difficult. A lot of them were pretty easy to get through. The ambiance in this game too, on the soundtrack, I really like. I really liked the sound that plays whenever the spotlight appears, like that tense buildup that comes up. It's really cool. I am going to start to get into spoiler territory, so this is your spoiler warning now, as I'm going to be talking about some key plot points to this game. So if you do want to try this out for yourself, pause the video now, get it on Steam, and give it a play of your own and see if you like it. I do think that if you like older horror games, you will like this game. So getting in the spoilers, this game basically uncovers a tragedy between a couple students in the 90s, and you find out more and more as you play, someone who worked for the school at the time, I can't remember off the top of my head, stalked and was obsessed with one of the girls. Find some really freaky stuff that he did to her and did on his own time. It's just really weird. The reason why the spotlight is so invested in Amy is because Amy shares the same locker as this girl did in the 90s. In the beginning of the game, while they're summoning a spirit with the Ouija board, Amy brings out a rose and says that she found this randomly in her locker. You find these roses as you play through the game in Chapter 1, and you can see that these roses were left by the quote-unquote secret admirer to Chrissy, who I believe was the girl at the time receiving this stuff, which was the staff member at the school. At the end of Chapter 1, when you finally come across Amy, the spotlight reveals himself, and then you have a boss fight. This boss fight I actually thought was a little difficult. The way how you beat him is simple enough, where you have to make him land on water and electrocute the water, where you can zap him and then rip off his chains, then unscrew the grate on his light, and then stab the light with your screwdriver. But I found after the first electrocution, it was really tough to get him to zap, and I would die a lot because of this. Once you do that, you beat the first chapter. Vivian confesses her feelings to Amy that she likes her, because that was something that was preluded at in the beginning. Amy accepts, and then happy ending, right? Wrong, because there's a whole chapter 2 of this game that actually gives Amy's perspective. This chapter, in my opinion, is far more scarier and more interesting than Chapter 1, and gives a new story. The Amy that we've been talking with and seeing in Chapter 1 of Fear the Spotlight was not the true Amy. The true Amy was going through her own trauma that she dealt with family. The spotlight is still present in Amy's chapter, but very scarcely. The main enemy in this is someone I'm going to call the Water Woman. She had an official name in a fairy tale book that I believe is referenced that you can find in Amy's memories, but I'm just going to call her the Water Woman because whenever she walks you hear splashes. But Chapter 2 also suffers from Chapter 1's puzzles, where I just don't really think they were difficult in the slightest. It's just you get to a puzzle, oh, let me just do this so I can progress the story and then move on. Chapter 2's ending is pretty satisfying though for Amy. She gets some good closure, and then it brings us to the end of where we found Vivian in Chapter 1, where it comes full circle. Unfortunately, Vivian does get captured by a teacher there, and as Amy, you're able to rescue her and escape and run back to your house, where you watch a movie together and hang out. Finally, with their feelings out in the open, they are dating. I really like the main characters, Vivian and Amy, and playing as them and like their stories and what they're going through, while Vivian's actually going through like the past and uncovering what actually happened with the school, bringing it to light afterwards and causing the school to be shut down, and Amy's going through her own personal hell with her family and getting some closure on that end of things. As I mentioned too, the ambiance, music, graphics, gameplay, I really do think are good. If I had to talk about some negatives though, I thought the game was too short. It's asking for $20 on Steam, and I was able to beat both chapters 1 and 2 in just under 2.5 hours. I think a fair price of this would have been $10. At the end of Chapter 1, the developers say, "Thanks so much for playing our game. We know it's not perfect, but we're really proud of this." I really wish they didn't have that message. I think it's good that they are proud of their product, because I do like their product overall, but have it with pride, even if it isn't the way how you wanted it to be, how it turned out. You still have something here that's enjoyable, and if anything, it's only going to help you in the future if you want to add on to this or make a new game. It can be viewed as a stepping stone that's only going to make you guys better. I already talked about the puzzles. I liked the puzzles. They were just very doable. Did not think they were difficult. Whenever I came across puzzles, like, oh, okay, let me do this, okay, I'll move on. Oh, do this, then move on. But besides puzzles and the length of the game being a lot shorter than I would have liked, I really like this story. And I really like these characters, and I really like this game, and I really like the relationship between both of them. I would have liked to just see more. Talking about the achievements, thankfully, if you were to play this game once with chapters 1 and 2, just a regular playthrough, a lot of these achievements you unlock just by playing the game. I'd say there's maybe like a third or a little over a third of achievements that you actually need to do extra things for to unlock. For instance, one that I actually got on my first playthrough because I wanted to try it out was dialing 911 on both Vivian and Amy's phones that are available, and that was an achievement both times. I did not think that was going to be the case, and I was not aware of that achievement. I was pretty proud of myself that I got that without looking up a guide. Some are actually kind of funny, like the achievement Eager Spirit. That's when you arrive at the seance without getting the Ouija board from the case. So Vivian just walks up to Amy and talks to her, and Amy's like, where's the Ouija board? it's funny, like that you could actually just do that. Others are cracking some puzzles, like no issue for both, I believe, Vivian and Amy. There's 2 of them. I think for Vivian, it was Read Between the Lines, and for Amy, it was Family Tree. Inside Out is the achievement where you actually witness through the door hole in Amy's house all the scenes that involved Vivian talking to the fake Amy, seeing a perspective of the true Amy looking through. That was pretty cool. There's 4 of these, and you can miss them. I missed it on my first playthrough, the last one. But if you get all 4, you unlock that achievement. Another funny one is Bingo Enthusiasts, where the tumbler, you spin it, you get a fuse for a section that requires you to restore power in Vivian's chapter, but if you keep spinning the tumbler afterwards, you get an achievement. It's cool that they still had that in. Curtain Call requires you to take a bow on stage, and Tuning In requires you to scan every station. These are both ones I did have to get in a second playthrough. If I had to say which achievement was the hardest to get in this game, it would probably be Deep Breaths, which requires you to get through Vivian's chapter without using an inhaler. I found myself having to restart a couple times if I got caught by the spotlight, because I know I had to save those hit points for the final boss with him at the end. Amy's chapter also has one called Stress Free, where it's Survive Without a Scratch, which is basically the same achievement, but I got this on my first playthrough of this chapter without even realizing it. I didn't even get attacked once by the water woman. But overall, this was really fun. It only took me 2 playthroughs to get through this whole 100% journey. To the devs, if you guys do ever see this, I thought you had something really cool here. I really like the characters in the story. I'm excited to see what you guys do in the future, even if it is expanding more in this world. I don't know if that's in the cards, but I really liked what was presented here, and I think just my biggest, not necessarily complaint, but biggest thing I want to say is I really would have just liked to see more. So I'm interested to see what you guys are going to be doing in the future. In total, between 2 playthroughs and a little over 8.5 hours of total gameplay to play this game, I would give it my completionist rating of completed. It was not a difficult completion journey whatsoever. It was really fun. It's a game that doesn't demand too much of your time. It presents itself for what it is. I highly recommend. Force Death recommends this game to every horror fan. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go do my annual rewatch of Over the Garden Wall. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.